and welcome back to Spirit World. Thank you for tuning into this video today. Last time I didn't ask, but if you want to subscribe, you can go ahead and subscribe. I'm probably going to do like a couple more videos. I don't know if I'll do any more beyond this, but yeah, if you want to subscribe, go ahead and subscribe. All right, so today I really wanted to talk about Bible college and ministry and what does that even look like, because I feel like for me it wasn't like being raised in the church that really broke me in any way. I'm fortunate enough to not have dealt with direct and intentional spiritual abuse or physical abuse in any way. My last video kind of explained like how I felt about my upbringing and like my own decisions and choosing a church. But yeah, it wasn't really that was directly related to where I'm at today with my faith. It was going through Bible college and starting my career in ministry. So let's get right into it. So I when I was in high school, I was a part of like this evangelism ministry, which right now in my life I definitely don't I wouldn't encourage that ministry anymore, but you know, I feel like I learned a lot of public speaking skills, a lot of unbeknownst to me networking skills that I didn't realize were being built up when I was connected to that ministry. But it was a partner ministry with the local Christian university. And so these college students would come and they would mentor us students that were in the Bible club. And so through that, I kind of felt like maybe I would go to that Christian university when I finished high school. I knew that I wanted to do ministry full time, right? I knew that I wanted to be a pastor. So I figured I need to go to a Christian university, a Bible college. So I thought it would be that one. But then I went to summer camp, and there were reps from another Christian university that was about 40 minutes from where my hometown is. And I decided, you know, why not go there? It was connected with my denomination that I grew up with, and I knew I wanted to go there. But then I learned about a college in Australia, and I said, like, that sounds like a really big dream and I want to do it. So I did. I went, and I was there for about 6 months. I was there for a semester. I wanted to stay for a year, but there were some complications with financials and I had to come home. In that time, it was an international college, and maybe because I was only there for a short amount of time, or maybe because I kind of just went through high school as like being, I hate to use the word popular, maybe I was, I don't know, but I think I was very used to like kind of being in the spotlight, and a lot of the things that this college in Australia did really only amplified people like that. And so I feel like even though I didn't get like a lot of amplification, I had just started going there, I felt comfortable there. And there were instances where racist comments were made casually, you know, but I think I was just also pretty young. It was 3 weeks after high school that I hopped a plane to a completely different side of the world by myself. And I don't have much memory from that time other than like I met some really dope people from around the world. It was actually there where I first got diagnosed with depression, and I know that for a lot of people who saw the counselor at that campus, they were misdiagnosed, but I knew myself, and there was we called them trainers, but they were like professors, I guess. It just was a different term because of Australia. And my trainer actually called me out and she said, "Hey Crystal, why don't you take this diagnostic? And you know, I feel like some of the things you've been sharing, it sounds like you might be going through things, and I just want to get you the help that I think you deserve." And so, you know, I did meet with the counselor, and that was my first experience ever with therapy, my first time getting diagnosed with anything. So that is kind of what I took away from that experience. I think there was a lot of hustle and bustle, and there was like this desire to be connected to all the small groups and be connected to all the leadership opportunities. It was like climbing a ladder. Um, and that was my beginning of ministry and Bible college, was really there. And I took a semester off and finished my degree at that Bible college that was 40 minutes from my hometown. So when I came back to the States, took a semester off, started back the following fall, and that's really where my can of worms opened. And if you are an alum of that Bible college, I'm sure on some level you can resonate, at least if you're watching this video. Because there are people who just love that college, and I just feel like that was just not my experience. I thought I was going to be someone who would come out on the other side of graduation, like in love with that college, proud to be an alumni. It's complicated. It was much more complicated than I thought it was going to be. But basically how my Bible college experience worked was I was studying and I was also doing ministry, practically at a full-time capacity, if I'm honest. So full-time student, full-time ministry. Sometimes there was part-time work mixed in, so I was very much in survival mode. I can't really tell you to this day like the extent of what I learned practically in my Bible college classes, because I was in such survival mode. And I think it was a huge miss of the university to not prepare their institution for first-generation students like me, first-generation college students like me, to be more specific. I didn't have someone back home who could I could kind of like bounce my emotions and my confusion and my overwhelm off of. Like, my mom didn't go to a four-year university like I had the opportunity to. And so I very much felt like I was carrying the weight of generations back on my shoulders. And my first year of Bible college, I really saw like students around me, like their faith was being deconstructed, and they were kind of feeling like, oh, everything I believed in is just not what I thought it was. And for me, I think I was just at a different place in my Bible studies and my faith, to where I was more open to hearing my ideas be wrong, essentially. Like, now I believe that, nobody is really right or wrong about the Bible. I think there are key elements like justice and love and faith, and I think there are key elements that are just really not up for debate. But I think there's a lot of gray. There's a lot more gray than there is stark contrast ideas in the Bible. Contrary to like conservative popular belief, it's really not. There are a lot of I don't knows to the questions we have about the Bible. Like, there are a lot of questions that we have that we can't really give an answer for. And I don't think that Christians are really concerned with questions and doubting. I think the concern comes when you are not able to give an answer to big questions. Like, I think Christians are okay, like more okay with this questioning God or whatever, but they are quick to be like, there's an answer for that. And it's like, no, actually there's not. The more you study like the original languages and the original text, there's actually a lot of I don't knows. Like, I don't know. We can theorize, we can kind of just think together, but there's not really a lot of answers. And so the start of my Bible college experience, I was very open. And I would say like my Bible college had a pretty liberal theology. Now, when it trickled down to like how the institution was being run, not it. Like, it is not liberal run institution at all. But the classes and the professors, I think they brought some really great things and ideas to light for me as a student, which I found to be really refreshing. And, I think there was a great disparity between me as being a woman of color and my white counterparts. Like, for example, I came from a predominantly Black and Latino neighborhood. And there, I was able to excel in academics, in extracurriculars. Like, I was class president, I spoke at every graduation since preschool, right? Like, whatever I set my mind to, I could achieve in that environment. It was safe for me. But when I went to Bible college, I found myself being bottom of the barrel, overlooked, and often like outrun by my white counterparts who just felt like they could just shapeshift into whoever their leaders wanted them to be. And I wasn't about to do that. I think I just got to a point in my life where I was like, that is exhausting. I'm going to show up as my whole self, and if you don't like it, sucks to suck. I think I just got to a point in my life where I was like, I am surviving through this institution. I can't give you anything else. So I don't think that I was able to like shine the way I could have had I been understood from my context and my background. And students like me too. I feel like I really could have been challenged by other students who were like me had we been able to have the platform and understanding and opportunity that white students got. Another thing was nepotism. Nepotism is something that I definitely, I mean, it crushed me in ministry and Bible college. Like, my Bible college is founded on certain family names. And it's young enough to where those folks are still alive, their children are still alive, their grandchildren are still alive, and they're going to these schools, they're going to this school, and they're getting opportunities because of their last name. I don't care what anybody says, it's true. It's 100% true. Whether your family member is a pastor, well-known leader in the denomination, they went to the school, like whatever. The nepotism there is really horrible, and it continues on to like other ministries that I've been a part of, where it's like you're related to the pastor, you get certain passes, you get certain opportunities that are not provided to. I'm not saying those folks aren't qualified, maybe they are, but it's not really fair to other people if they never got a running chance, as the same opportunities were given to people who are friends with, close with, related to people in positions of power. And I think that's really what turned me off to wanting to be a pastor. You know, I really thought it through, and I was like, I think the way the system is established and continues to thrive, it's centered around a Tower of Babel idea, like climbing a ladder so that we can be like God. And, you know, you get to a certain position and you are playing God with people, and it's not okay. You know, like I would rather just not climb that Tower of Babel, and I would rather meet people where they're at and just be more like grassroots, organic about ministry. And I know that in Bible college I would kind of scoff at people who say things like that, because I would think like, don't you have hope? Like, don't you believe in the church? Like, don't you want to just make it better? And it's like, yeah, you can try, but either you'll continue to like have the same model that broke you, but you're just like packaging it differently, or you just burn out and you lose your faith and your passion, and you're kind of just going through the motions and maintaining a job to pay bills. And that's not what I wanted. So I didn't get the jump off point at the end of my Bible college time the way my other, you know, white counterparts may have gotten, or people of color who were wanting to shapeshift and please certain people and show up to interviews in a certain manner. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to stay true to myself. But what carried me through was having a mentor. I had two mentors who changed the trajectory of my early career incredibly, and I just am so honored to call them my mentors. Two women of color who really set me up for success and gave me like insider tips about ministry and being more of a progressive Christian and what that looks like and how to navigate the systems and the powers that be. And so, you know, there was one time where I felt really just dropped by the denomination and by the institution. I went in for an interview to get a promotion. I was an RA, and there was like a position over that, and I was the only candidate that interviewed. And the other person who interviewed, she, forgive me if you are her friend, if you are her, I love you. I know you're probably not the same person, but she had never been an RA. Her room was a mess. It was really bad. And I just thought, like, there's no way. Like, I have experience. I'm just saying, room being a mess is like, you're a resident assistant. Like, you are teaching people how to live in this space that we share. You're setting a certain example. And she got the position and I didn't. And surprise, surprise, she was white. and she fit a certain mold. And I felt so dropped. I was like, do you realize how good that would look on my resume leaving college that I was promoted? And what was the reason? You seem more pastoral, and this position is more administrative. Are you kidding me? So you're not gonna have me grow professionally or like develop professionally? Anyways, that was a real big bump in the road of my career, leaving college without that sense of promotion and without that sense of like my team believing in me, my leaders believing in me. And it really just showed me the true colors of the institution and what it meant to be a woman of color in these spaces. However, at the same time, I gained 2 mentors. And I mean, these mentors changed my life. One mentor is a first generation Latina that is just slaying everything she touches turns to gold. Her family, her professional life, her academic career, like everything. And then another woman is a Korean American woman who just, I don't even have the words to describe her and how amazing she is, but these 2 women really came alongside me, and they were always a voice of reason and were always able to say, like, Crystal, you know, this could be a position you want to take up as a means to an end, and also, Crystal, it's time to leave this environment. It's pretty unhealthy for you. You know, they spoke into my life as I left college and as I started teaching in a Christian school and deciding that wasn't what was best for me or my family. And one of those mentors actually connected me to a job opportunity that I have now and that I'm very much happy with. And, you know, if there's anything that I would say to a woman of color going through a Bible college that is likely filled with a white history, is have a mentor. Have a mentor who is a woman of color. You don't know anybody who maybe walked your path, reach out to me. If I'm not her for you, I know someone who could be. And we have to be able to reach out to women who look like our former selves and realize, like, yeah, she may not take the same path as me, she may not take all my advice, but at least she has me and I have her back. And so that's what I would say to a woman of color navigating Bible college or ministry, is like, you need someone who looks like you and who is seeking liberation for people like you. Because yeah, I could have been connected to like another mentor who looked like me, but maybe they were willing to maintain the status quo. That's not who I wanted in my corner. I wanted someone who's a revolutionary and wanting to shake things up, not for the sake of change, but because it's necessary. You know, ministry is not roses, and it's definitely not roses for people who look like me and come from my background. So we need to have each other's back in that sense. So there you have it. That was my Bible college experience and my ministry experience thus far. I don't think there is enough storage in a camera to really capture like my entire experience and all of my stories that were along that journey, but I did want to share like the key things that really really sideswiped me and the things that really brought healing and restoration. And so I hope this helps anybody watching this. Like, one of the biggest takeaways that I will say though is, even though I did feel overlooked or neglected or not empowered, I decided every time I stepped into the chapel on campus to pause and soak it in, that nobody before me in my family line had that same opportunity, not just to be like learning about the Bible, but to be going to university. And the good memories that I had from Bible college and my ministry experience are mine. I'm not going to throw away everything because my experience was hard or unconventional. I'm going to hold on to the things that were salvaged and not lost in the fire, because oppression has taken enough. And so if that's you, whether you're in the traditional school system or you are going through the Christian university dance, entering ministry, like whatever damage has been caused, oppression has taken enough. You take yours, sis. I still earned my degree and nobody's taking that from me. and I earned it with honors. Like, there are just things like that that I'm like, oppression is taken enough. I'm walking away with mine, and you walk away with yours. So that's it. And I hope that this really encouraged you and empowered you.